friends, welcome back to Food Prep Guide. We're back in the kitchen today with another canning tutorial, and this time it is green beans. Green beans is honestly one of the easiest things that you can can. Most of your raw packed vegetables are the simplest things to can. They are a low acid food, so we do need a pressure canner in order to can them safely. I know that for a lot of people who are just starting out in canning, or maybe you've never canned before and you're just kind of considering canning, I know that pressure canning can seem a little intimidating, but I assure you it is absolutely simple and easy to do, and I hope this video will prove that to you. I'm going to be using my digital Presto electric canner, but you can certainly use a stovetop pressure canner for this. The first thing we need to do is get all of these cleaned, so I'm going to get that done and then we'll get started canning.
By the way, if you would like help building your food storage, scroll down to the description box of this video and click this link for our free 1-year food storage plan. We calculated a year's supply of food for one person, then broke that data down into a week-by-week list of items to build your pantry on a budget. We'll send it straight to your inbox. If you're new here, we invite you to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss all of our upcoming food preservation, pantry storage, and gardening tutorials. Now back to the kitchen.
So this canning process goes pretty quickly, so I'm going to take a minute and show you my setup and what all I have going on before we even get to chopping the beans, because it really does go quickly once you get them chopped. So in my pressure canner, I need to set the time from the very beginning. So we are canning in quarts today, and quarts need to can for 25 minutes. That is going to be different if you live at 1,000 feet elevation or higher. I will link a chart in the description box below. If you are at a higher elevation, you can check out that link and see how much time that you will need to add to your canning time. I'm below 1,000 feet elevation, so I just need to can for 25 minutes. You can see on my canner, it tells me to insert the jars, and that is to preheat the jars because we are going to be topping the green beans with boiling water. So what I need to do is put in 3 quarts of water into the bottom of this canner. Different pressure canners are going to call for different amounts of water. In general, you only need a couple of inches of water in the bottom of your pressure canner, but this particular pressure canner calls for 3 quarts of water, so I'm going to add that real quick. Okay, I have my 3 quarts of water in the bottom, and now I'm just filling each jar about halfway, and that's going to keep them from floating around during the preheat stage. And this is true whether you're using a stovetop canner or this canner. You want to weight down your jars so that they're not floating around while you preheat them. So now I'm just going to put the lid on and hit the jar warming phase. If you're using a stovetop canner, you'll just turn your eye on to low to medium heat to get those jars heated up. Now it says warm, and those jars will be warming while we chop our green beans. While those jars are warming, I have a couple things going on the stovetop over here. I have my lids in water that is on a very low simmer, getting nice and warm. That's just going to help that resin on the lids kind of loosen up a little bit and increase my chances of getting a good seal. I have 2 pots of water here. I've got this one that I'll be bringing to a boil, and then I've got my tea kettle here, and I will be transferring this boiling water into the tea kettle. That tea kettle is just not big enough to fill up 5 quarts of green beans. Hopefully we'll get 5 quarts today, but you just want to have some boiling water on standby. Get that ready, get your lids ready, and make sure you have nice clean rings on standby as well. So as far as chopping the green beans go, we really just need to snip the ends off, and then we want to go through and get out any beans that look like they have some bug nibbling on them, like that. And we also want to look for any spots of rust, not actual rust, but beans are prone to what's known as bean rust. Let me see if I can find a good example. The beans this year are looking really good. I haven't noticed a whole lot of rust. I'll show you one if I come across it, but it's pretty common, and plants can sustain some rust disease without getting completely wiped out. But you do just want to trim off any spots that have that on them. So I'm just going to kind of get these lined up here, and I'm just going to cut off the ends on both sides. Just like that. Now, if you're using pint jars, you might need to trim off, depending on how long your beans are, you might need to trim them off. I'm using quart jars, so this will be totally fine lengthwise for my quart jars. I just realized I didn't have a bowl to put my cut beans in. Okay, here's a good example of some bean rust that had started on this bean. It just looks like round brown spots, and they do tend to spread once they start. Since this bean, well, I guess I can get one section like right there. I'm gonna go ahead and pick off both sides, and I'm just left with that middle section there. But it's not that it would make you sick. It's just like a quality issue. When we're canning, we really want the highest quality possible, so bug marks and rust spots need to go. Okay, we are ready to load our jars. I just took these out of the canner. They're nice and warm. I hope that teapot back there that is about to come to a boil isn't too terribly loud. But I've got that tea kettle is just about to boil, and we're just going to load in our green beans. The only thing you need to know about packing green beans into jars is to do it tightly. You want to really stuff those green beans in. Wow, that's a really long one. You want to really stuff the green beans in because they have a tendency to float. And the heavier, tighter you pack them, the less that they will float, meaning the less air you'll have in your jar too. Of course, we'll get that air out during the canning process, but it just helps to have the jar as full as possible. I need to snap a couple of these over. Some of them are longer than I thought they were. We do want to maintain a 1-inch headspace. So once I get these stuffed down in here, and if any are going over 1-inch headspace, I'm just going to go through and snip off the tops and make them lie down so that they're not above that 1-inch headspace mark. Some people try to do the green beans really straight instead of all bent over like this. I personally don't care. I don't care how they look in the jar. I think they're still pretty, that pretty color. Okay, there's that tea kettle. I'll lift that up so it's not screaming at me. But you can certainly try to put them all in there very nice and straight if you would like to. I'm just continuing to stuff it in there as much as I possibly can. A lot more fit in than it seems. You saw how many green beans that I have, and I'm actually questioning whether or not I'm even going to get 5 quarts out of that. And that was a pretty good pile of beans. So just know that going into it that it takes a decent amount of beans. I think it's somewhere around 12 pounds for like 8 quarts, I think is the average. My digital Presto canner only holds 5 quarts as a full load, so I didn't need 12 pounds, and that's good because I didn't have 12 pounds. Okay, I can't really push them down anymore, so that tells me I'm about as full as I'm going to get. Now I'm checking my headspace, and I'm making sure that I don't have any above that 1-inch mark. And this one right here is a little bit too high. Okay, we're good to go. So now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of canning salt to each quart jar. Canning salt is just salt that has no additives or anti-caking agents in it. This is just a sea salt that I have here. But you can use any salt that doesn't have any anti-caking agents or not preservatives, but any kind of additives like that. Okay, so now I'm going to get my tea kettle of boiling water here. And we're going to fill it with boiling water to, again, 1-inch headspace. Okay, I'm going to look and make sure I'm doing good on my headspace, and I am. Now, we always want to debubble, but I will tell you that debubbling is almost impossible with green beans, especially if you really pack them down like you're supposed to. I mean, I can't get my debubble tool all the way down through here, so it's just kind of wiggling things around a little bit, because I do see little air bubbles coming up as I wiggle things down. So now I'm just going to make sure that this little spot right here stays tucked down below 1-inch headspace, and now I'm ready to put a lid on. I've got my lids heating up in that pot I showed you earlier, so they're nice and warm, a little bit wet. I've got a nice clean ring over here. I'm going to put that on to fingertip tight, which means I feel resistance right here, and I'm just going to do a slight quarter turn more. I'm getting tongue-tied. And this jar of green beans is ready to go into the canner. So I'm going to load up the rest of these beans, and then we'll be back into the next step. Okay, I wasn't sure if I would get 5 quarts, and I didn't. I only ended up with 4. That's okay. So I'm going to put the lid on. And then all we need to do on this canner is hit the next button, which is this button right here. And it goes into heat. And then this will come up to temperature, and we will get a steady stream of steam coming out of this vent right here. And once that vents for about 10 minutes, I will put this weight on, and then it will be ready to actually can and start the processing time for 25 minutes. But this canner takes care of letting me know when to put the weight on, when to start the time. So if you are using a regular stovetop pressure canner, you're going to need to wait until there's a steady stream of steam coming out of this vent pipe for 10 minutes straight before you put the weight on and before you start your processing time of 25 minutes. But be sure to read your manual for whatever canner that you have and go by those instructions. And don't forget that you need to add extra time if you live at 1,000 feet above elevation. Okay, so about 5 or 6 minutes ago, the canner beeped at me to let me know that it was done. And I went ahead and turned it off, unplugged it, and then I let it sit there in the canner for about 5 minutes. That's to avoid really sudden temperature changes, which can lead to siphoning, which is also known as liquid loss. That has been going on for about 5 to 6 minutes, and we're ready to take them out. I did want to mention that I realized I forgot to wipe the rims of the jars. And I wanted to just mention that real quick. So wiping rims is very important, but as you can, there are certain things that it's kind of not absolutely necessary for. When you saw me loading these jars, it was just boiling water I was pouring in there. There's not a whole lot of stickiness or food residue or anything like that to get on the rims of the jars to prevent that jar from sealing. But still, as a manner of course, I wipe the rims for everything because I don't want to forget, because it's easy to forget. So if I skip it on purpose, I have a tendency to forget it. So I did not forget that on purpose. I completely forgot to wipe the rims. But just wanted to let you know, in case you're a brand new canner, before I put that lid on, I should have wiped the rims with a piece of damp cloth or a wet paper towel, something like that. I usually just use a wet paper towel. So now I'm going to set these on my dining room floor over there where they will sit for 12 to 24 hours. And then I will check the seals after that and make sure everything is good and sealed, label them and put them up. If something does not seal, I will just put that in my fridge and we'll go ahead and have that as a side dish within the next 3 days or so. Hope that was helpful to y'all, and we will see you next time. Bye.